Hi, everyone. Welcome. I know I have different glasses on because I don't know where my regular glasses went. So I call them my farm girl glasses. These are my farm girl glasses that I have on right now. So, yeah. Welcome. Coffee. Yes. I was out this morning and I saw an eagle. It was so cool. I was on my Instagram live. You might be able to see it on my Instagram live. And I just turned it and I was trying to pick it up. I was hoping I could pick it up. Shar said that she saw it. So, yeah. So that was so cool. There was something in his talons, but so it was just spectacular to have him because where I was standing on my little place, and then you go like there's a hill, and then from that hill there is a you know the reservoir, and it was like he was just not very far away from me. So it was very cool to see. To me, when I see it, I know they're life changing. When whenever an eagle comes in, there's something that's changing directions for me and heading into something new. It is positive. I saw two blue jays the other day also, and the blue jays were also about transformation and change coming forth. And blue jays are very smart. They have a very high kind of annoying noise voice that they have, but sometimes they can imitate other birds too, right? Blue jays, and I think it's blue jays. They don't build a nest. You either they will lay their eggs in someone else's nest, and hopefully they will raise their little their little hatchlings. But sometimes a lot of people will build bird houses for blue jays. Anyways, so quite an adventure. So knowing that there's transfer and change. And what's this day all about? Change. This full moon coming up. I mean, full moon 29 degrees. It'll be exact this morning. Early this morning. It'll be exact. I will give you the exact time. Just hang on. Some of you probably have it. They call it the corn moon. And I got my little handy dandy thingy out. 8:02 a.m. That's Eastern Standard Time. So 8:02, so that'd be about 5 a.m. 5 a.m. Pacific. I can't even say Pacific time, and then Mountain Standard Time would be 6 a.m. But your best time would be seeing it as it sets. So whenever the sun is rising, or just before the sun is rising, if you're able to get out and see it just as it's set, it's not, that's when it's going to be exact, when it's setting. So when the moon is setting, it's going to be at its potency, we'll say, for energies. But the energies for this, if you're working doing any rituals in that with the moon, it's usually 3 days before and 3 days after. We're in this lovely gibbous stage of the moon. And this gibbous stage is about what direction getting things done. It is what are the directions that you are wanting to form. We also have a lot of energy within. Okay, we got the Leo energy, we have Libra energy, and then we have the Aquarius energy. All of those are relationships. So we have the full moon in Aquarius, we have the sun in Leo, we have Venus, who is about relationships, in Libra. She's home, she's happy. Mercury in Virgo, he's home, he's happy. The sun is happy, he's in a great place. The moon doesn't mind being in Aquarius. And then Juno is also making aspects to Jupiter, or Jupiter's making aspects to Juno, and they're husband and wife, and she's in Sagittarius in the South Node. So we have this energy of relationships, of what are the relationships on all levels in your life. What are they? How are they transforming in your life? And how can you transform through your own relationship within your own self? Now with that Aquarius moon, it is very much, it's a energy that wants to bring in a lot of wisdom, and wants to bring in, I keep on feeling like it's almost, it's where I get this twisting. So they're showing me a lot of twisting coming in, where things are where you, not a kaleidoscope though. It's not a kaleidoscope. It may be kind of like a kaleidoscope, but because as you're twisting, it's changing. So it's showing me all the different changes, and if you go back, you won't be able to get it. You won't get the same design. So this is like, if people are trying to go backwards and trying to get the same thing that they had before, it's not there. It's gone. Like you can't, it's not ever going to come back the way it was. So this is a movement of forward movement that we are needing to make within our own selves, with our relationships, and allowing ourselves to step into this newness. Now, I'm not sure if any of you have the Witch's Guidebook. I get one every year, and they're usually really hard to find. Sometimes the calendar place has it, sometimes Chapters has it. Of course, you can order it online, but they can be very difficult to find, because once they sold out, usually people, whoever order them, bookstores that get them, they only get a certain amount and then they're gone. So they should be starting to come out soon for your for September. I mean, this goes all the way to the end of the year, but a lot of times you can find them out now. Like you'll start seeing things, the day timers in September, October. Anyways, as we go into this beautiful moon, we have in here, they're calling it the Hazel Moon. And it's the Celtic tree calendar. So it's from the Celtic tree calendar, has brought us under the light of the hazel moon. The hazel tree brings us association with wisdom, inspiration, and poetry. The hazel invokes the Irish legend of Fionn Mac Cumahal. Finian gains Alwyn's divine inspiration. So Reden's energy is coming in, and the powers of in a druidical wisdom form, licking the hot juice of a roasting salmon that has splashed on his thumb. This was the salmon of wisdom who had consumed the nuts that had fallen from the hazel tree. So I'm going to bring in a little bit of the tarot. So if you get the Page of Cups, if you have the Page of Cups and it has a salmon in there, right? So you have a fish kind of coming out. So a lot of times when you see the cups, you'll see fish in it or some kind of fish. Usually they are salmon, okay? Because it is through your intuition you gain wisdom. So just a side note there for you. And so the hazelnut into the Bowen River. Thus, one folk names for the hazel is the tree of wisdom. Perhaps we can harness a bit of the power of the legend of the hazel moon by trying our hand at a little poetry, gathering pen and some hazelnuts to munch on if you're not allergic. So under this moon. So yeah, this is a very beautiful moon to play some music, maybe get out, start writing, getting inspiration, because there's a lot of fire and there's a lot of air. So the air is bringing in wisdom, inspiration, new ideas. Fire, passion. What is your passion? What do you want, to go through? We also have Uranus is retrograde now, and he rules Aquarius. So we have Saturn at home. So we have quite a few planets in their home sign. So that brings us a real powerful forward direction. Even though Saturn is retrograde, Jupiter's retrograde, but our inner planets, our Mercury, our Mars, our Venus, are forward right now. They are bringing us inspiration of ideas. Mars is wanting to, what direction do we want to go? Yet we may not have all the pieces at this time, which is fine, because it is an ending. We're at an ending of a dream cycle. So we have Neptune contra parallel with Pallas Athena. So there is this ending of a dream, and they said an ending of a time. So my guides have shown me we're at an ending of a time. So this is a time ending. So where I used to, see all these timelines coming, I'm seeing them, they're gone. They're gone. So there's these timelines that are gone. So it's an ending of a time. And this is us looking into a forward motion, a forward tunnel, and it's a light tunnel. It's like a tunnel of time that we are going through. And we're going through this tunnel of time of transformation and standing within this tunnel of time to bring in the transmutation of newness and renewal and wisdom within us. But in order to tap into that renewal and wisdom, we need to trust in those inspirations, trust in that wisdom that comes forth with us, which is our inspiration. And when we trust our inspiration, we are guided to walk upon our road and walk upon the path that we are needing to walk upon, allowing us to fly like the eagle, fly high above, because there is so much that is coming in, that this tunnel, and it's almost like a tunnel of protection also, that is coming through, that is segregating, as I've always seen. I've been talking to you guys that for months now, of the segregation that is happening. Back in 2017 and 2016, even before then, I was working with the Palladians, and the Palladians were coming in very strong. And they were the ones who were telling me, get everything online. Things are changing. There is a darkness coming. You got to start doing this work and getting it online so that more people can receive information and guidance, and not fall to the clouds of darkness and the segregation that's coming in. They didn't tell me about the segregation. They just showed me about how things would be ending in the world, like how a lot of, like one-on-ones and people wanting to gather in groups. They're showing me how that would be diminishing over a period of time. And this period of time, they said, is a time that will last for they say several years. So for several years, and it's through us standing in our light, going through the tunnel, is going to continue this beautiful light journey of bringing in the transformation and change and message to people to stand within their light power. And standing in your light power, that's sometimes the fear can creep in and you get overwhelmed, but it's stepping up, even, whatever is personal inside of you, stepping up against the oppression that is being forced upon you, and those relationships that are oppressing you in some way. So where are those oppressions in your life that are holding you back from stepping into that light? And that's part of the relationships, because Leo and Libra and Aquarius are all relationships. They're all about relationships. They're all about bringing in that harmony and newness and innovative ways of connecting and coming together. So, whew, there's a lot. So this is really a greatness that is, and grace, courageous grace, because I love that word. Courageous grace is what is coming forth for us, and bringing that courageous grace to us and for us and within us and all around us, and staying there. Wow. So much for this full moon. So this is very much where, if you are, as the thing is that we have this full moon that's going to be happening. And as the full moon happens later on that day, the sun goes into Virgo. And so the Virgo season starts the same day as the full moon. So as the full moon illuminates and it goes off, we go into a new season, which is the Virgo season, and bringing in that energy of the Virgin. And the Virgin is that energy of power, of staying in your staying in who you are. And many times, and I'll get more into the meaning of the word virgin. It's not what, it's not just a woman who hasn't had sex or a man who hasn't had sex. That's not, but it's like it is one who has their power, but they're not reliant upon someone else to give them that power. And I think it's funny when I hear, the thing, I guess, in the Muslim, oh, when you die, you will get 40,000 or 40 whatever virgins to go fuck. And I'm just like, I really don't think that's what it means in the true essence, because if you think about, I mean, the whole Muslim, the Arabs of the time actually studied astrology. So they studied what the Virgo energy was. So anyways, that's a whole nother topic there. But it's coming into this change and bringing in this new creative change. She is also the energy of the hearth, so the wheat and gathering of the wheat. So it's a harvest time. So we're coming into the harvest and bringing in the harvest. So we're a lot of changes that are coming, a lot of power this weekend, which is really beautiful. And the power this weekend is really transformative, very transformative. And I feel like it's this energy that wants to, I feel like I'm riding a horse right now, because I'm just, this energy of bringing in the transformations that are needed. So that's pretty cool. I think that's I love the energy. I love, this is very much a dreaming time. Dreams are ending. A lot of things that people have been working on, they're done. They're done. And new things will be coming up. So we'll have new dreams. We may not know the specifics of them at this time, but that's okay. That's okay. You don't need to know all the specifics of it at this time. Oh, I'm needing this coffee. This is actually, when you go and you order your coffee. So for those, it doesn't matter, Tim Hortons, I don't care. Well, I go to Starbucks, and you get that coffee, and it's just that one, it's that time when that person who's made your coffee, and it's just like, yeah, this is good. The shots are perfect. The milk was good. Everything just came in that perfect kaleidoscope of timing to create this beautiful coffee. And I drink espresso every day, so knowing, like, I can tell you when a shot is off very easily. Just, you can just taste it when you get a really good shot of espresso. We're going to talk about coffee now. You get those layers, you get the darkness, and then you get that crema on top. So that sort of creaminess, that foaminess, it's the crema. That is it's actually a little, it's sweet. So when you get that shot that's just perfect then, and you just shoot it, I love it. It just has a very burst of flavors with inside your mouth. So coffee does, going on a coffee thing, coffee gives you, there's so many levels of coffee. Like if you've ever gone to a coffee tasting, coffee will there are different flavors, different hints. And when you get into really get into coffee and you get into the different flavors, it's like tea's the same way. So if you drink different teas, loose leaf tea is different than a bagged tea. Bagged tea loses its flavor. It's just, to me, what they do with the bagged tea is that you get the dreads of the bottom of the barrel kind of thing. When you order a loose leaf tea, when you have it is you see it, right? And the flavor, you smell so much different, like for a black tea or an Earl Grey or any of the herbal teas. You see all of those ingredients, and it has such a robust smell to it. Same way with when you get coffee. So coffee, depending on where it's growing, depending how it's dried, and how it's roasted, makes a huge difference. Coffee, the cherry before as a flower, will pick up the flavors of whatever's around. So if there's a one coffee from Ethiopia, and it's called Ethiopia Harar, and if it's very different, it's very rare. I've had it once. Starbucks brought it in, and the Ethiopia, it's a very it tastes like blueberries, because it's all grown around blueberries. So when you taste it, it has this very blueberry sweet taste to it. And there's no blueberries in it. There's no they didn't dry it with blueberries, but the flowers picked up that essence, and as it formed the beautiful cherry, the coffee cherry, it kept it there. Now, now I know why they're telling me to talk about this. It's like us. We're these little blossoms that are out there, and what are you absorbing? Oh God, I love my guides. They take me on a coffee trip, and then here I'm talking about. So this is what we have to look at. What is it that's around us that we are absorbing? Because as we are growing and transforming, and we come into that beautiful cherry, that beautiful uh, fruit, that fruit has picked up a lot of what's around it. And even in the process of with the coffee, even in the process, like when coffee's dried, like there's a Guatemala coffee, when because it's dried on the earth, it's earthy. It it's it tastes like the earth. To me, it tastes like dirt. It has it's dried. There's not much around the Guatemala um coffee. Not all Guatemala coffees are the same. So just because it says Guatemala doesn't mean that it's depending on the district it's grown, and it's all on the plantation that it's growing will make a difference. So anyways, the one of the original Guatemalan coffees that Starbucks has, because we had to take a coffee 101 course. Like when I worked we had to know coffee. That's what we do. We sell coffee, right? You had to know. So we did a lot of coffee tasting. One of the very first plantations that Starbucks bought into was one in Guatemala, and it's a very light to, I'd say, medium roast coffee. And the way that it's dried on the earth, so it's dried, and it picks up a lot of the earthy tones. So even as it's picked as a cherry and has those flavors, but how it's dried, and is it a wet process or a dry process? It's all depending on the tree. Uh, Picks up even added flavors. So that's even with us, like we as blossoms, we pick up everything from what we have learned, from mom and dad and grandpa and grandma, society, our friends, our chums at school. And as we grow, it's other parts come in to alter maybe our belief systems, give us a new perspective of the world around us, let us see things in new ways. And that's where this moon is coming in, because it is Aquarius. It is bringing in the abstract, the nuances, the ET energies that many of you don't work with or have not worked with, or maybe are starting to work with, are opening up these doorways and seeing things in different lights and in different harmonies. So a lot of harmonics are coming in too. And that changes even in the way that we think and how we function, because the harmonics, the waves, their music waves, change our vibrational selves. Now, for some who are just stepping into it, or who aren't into an awakening or connected with the divine, may be very uncomfortable, may be very frustrated, overwhelmed, and feeling their adrenals really acting up. So they might be overly stressed by everything. So that's the other part too. So watching, because not everybody's on the same field where you are not absorbing. They might be absorbing, the essences that you're absorbing, but you're able to bring them through and differentiate them in different way, in a way that is understandable and comprehension, have that comprehension, where others are absorbing it and they have no fucking clue what's going on, and they're freaking out and they're having meltdowns, right? And that's the other part too. So you're going to have people who are, it's like, I love it that Christine Music and Life just came in. So it's just like, because different music can really send people off. So you can have, let's say you go to a heavy metal. So if you're into heavy metal, some people just love heavy metal, and heavy metal is their thing, and they can, just, excuse me. Yes. Just take it.
I don't want to take it.
So with some music can just send you off, right? So if you listen to certain music, and some people don't like AC/DC, they don't like Led Zeppelin, they don't like, or any of the alternative, Motley Crue or any of those dudes, right? It's just too much. They can't handle. There's that's there. My eldest son was into dubstep and doing the boom, 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 and it would drive me crazy. Like, I don't mind a beat that is a drum beat, the drum beat, but he would play this all the time, like this beat of, and it got to you because it was really where, for me, that's not my type of music, and it would drive me crazy. So same thing, where you might be at a frequency that is able to receive a lot of this new energy that's coming in, because that's what ET is, new energy. It's bringing in new energies of transformation and change, and you're able to decipher it, or you're able to work with it. The same way if you've ever had crystal bowls. So if anybody's had crystal bowls placed upon them, that can really send you, because if you're not used to a crystal bowl and activating it and for the different chakra frequencies, I mean, man, you could just, it could make you very angry. It could make you very frustrated and upset, because you're adjusting into the new energies, right? And that too is happening with people. So when it comes to their relationships, because this is all about relationships, they're adjusting to something is new, and maybe they can't let go of that old ideas, or those old ways. So a lot of people are very frustrated. They're angry, they're mad, they're crying like crazy, because they just cannot handle what's coming forth within them, and the changes that are coming around them, and it's too new. It's like if you've never had an espresso shot before, and I'm taking you out and you don't drink coffee, and all of a sudden here I'm here having an espresso shot. Well, that might send you onto another planet. Same with different herbs and stuff. So There's so much, there's such a high frequency coming in, and not everyone's antenna is attuned to it at this time. They're trying to get our satellites, get our antennas attuned to this new light, attuned to this new way of standing in your power, of standing in your truth, of who you are as a human. But not everybody's there. You know, they're on, they want to go on the group train. They want to go on the train that, oh, well, everybody else is over here, so I guess I got to be over here too. And everybody else has a relationship like this, so I got to have a relationship like this. It's the old, you know, when I was younger, there was a time I was young, um, that when we were looking at picking out careers, there, um, you know, and they would tell, oh, you could be anything. And you're like, anything what? What is anything? So there wasn't anything about they didn't have astrologer or psychic or anything on there, of course, or crystal healer. Could you imagine? Oh my God. That's Aquarius. That's the Aquarius energy. But there was, you know, secretary, nurse, you know, for girls to choose from. Those were kind of like the first ones out there. And then even though things were changing, especially within relationships because of where Pluto was in Libra, and then you also had Uranus there. Yeah, it's Uranus. Yeah, Uranus in there, and then Saturn came in, changing relationships, activating. So when Uranus was in Libra during the 80s, it was activating and changing relationships. So all the relationships were starting to change. Pluto was like, yeah, I like this. We're not, you know, bringing in the old. Where when Pluto was in Leo and when Pluto was in Virgo, it was like, no, you are married. This is it. You're married. So, you know, our grandmothers, our mothers, this is like, this is what this is what we've came from. I'm giving you guys lots of analogies so you can understand all this energy that's coming in. Your history is coming in, right? History is changing to something new. It's breaking off to something new. You were raised with a history of saying when you were a young girl, you should get married by this age. If you're not married by this age, then you're a spinster, or you are, oh, you're just the poor lonely girl, you know. And as Pluto went into Libra, started to make things change, wanting to bring in the changes. And as Pluto went into Scorpio, that's a lot of the millennials started to come in. And with Pluto and Scorpio, and where Uranus and Neptune, and we're all in Capricorn, wanting to make and activate new changes and bring in those new changes and go against that of this world, like starting to disrupt the world, the status quo, and wanting to disrupt the status quo. Yet their energies, I find it very difficult to deal with this world because they are the last indigo children coming into the world and our first defense to make the changes. So in making the changes, it's like, you know, getting them activated, getting them going. And how many kids with Pluto and Scorpio are addicted to drugs, have issues of dealing with this world, have huge mental issues, have trouble with relationships and dealing with relationships, or here's the other scenario, is that they're hanging on to the old world so desperately because that's what they were told. That is their belief system. It's there. That's their belief system. Mom had it, dad had it, grandpa, grandma. They're hanging on to a lineage because this is the way it is. And then you have the next generation with Pluto and Sag, and that's our generation Z, that are just like, but look at all this other things that we can be doing. Look at all these other things. And this is where you get the transgender, the fluid. This is where you get people coming out and saying, but I can be all of this and I can feel all of this. And here we are still with a generation of going, what, hang on. And the millennials are like, what do you mean, hang on, I got to change this, I got to hold this energy, I got to bring in this new vibration. And these new ones are like, yeah, this is great, man, this is fabulous, look at where we can go and what we can do. And we have the Plutos in 2008, when Pluto went into Capricorn. That's the generations that are going to say, you guys are all fucked. Sorry, not sorry. This is a fucked up system, a fucked up world. And you want us to do what? They're the ones who are going to be relating to the millennials and saying, hey, what can we do? How can we make these changes? Because the millennials are the ones that are going to be saying, okay, this is what we need to do. We need to start forming something new. This moon is activating that. This is another activation of creating something new, of creating new relationships, new ideas, new foundations, new dreams that we don't know about yet. And that could be even new governments, new communities. Those are all relationships. Those all are forms of relationships. And with Pluto still in Capricorn, and it's retrograde right now, is bringing up things that are, people are still wanting to hang on to control, wanting to hang on to the old way, wanting to hang on to things that were. I'm going to say Justin Trudeau, he's a Capricorn with a triple trine. So he is like, I want to hang on to my power. O'Toole is a 1 degree Aquarius, but his energy is Capricorn. So we have, like, yes, different forms. I want something new. He's a baby Aquarius. I want something new and different. And that's why he hasn't come out striking. The Capricorn comes out striking. Here I am. I'm not going to let this go. And I'm going to fight you. I'm going to fight you. Fauci's a Capricorn. I'm going to fight you. And I'm going to hang on to this power the best way I know how. And I'm going to use the old boys group to keep it and keep this going. That's where this is. And this is where this new energy and these new ones are looking at it, and they're looking at whoever else is there, the NDP, which I don't trust him. There's something about his aura is off. There's something about his aura. He's just, but he's in the back pocket. 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 That's what I just got. So he must be in the back pocket of somebody. So here we have this energy of change that wants to come in, and this force to say, how are we going to do it? That is allowing us to have conversations, even though we don't agree, to create the change. That means not being afraid to ask a question on what is a transgender female? What is a transgender female? What is it? What does that decisive point mean? Or what is a fluid? And I'm just putting out general questions. What does that all mean? What does it mean when my child says she or he is pan? What does that mean? How is that defined? So we can have different conversations, not only on the sexuality, and people are going to come in there. I know I'm going to get notices about, this is what sex means, this is what gender means. Thank you. To how are we going to work with poverty? How are we going to work with single moms and single dads? How are we going to help our communities to grow stronger and have a strong health system that brings in holistic ideas, that brings in different forms of healing, that isn't invasive and pushy and segregating? How are we going to do it? And that's the new energy that's forming up, and it's shaking things up. It's shaking things up. And for many of us, many people out there who aren't attuned to it, are taking and absorbing the other, and wanting to hang on to what is already crumbling and breaking away. And that goes right down to our monarch and to churches. Not saying the churches aren't going away, but they're changing. They have to change. The Catholic Church is not going to let go of its power. Neither are the Muslims. I mean, the three most powerful religions are Catholicism, Judaism, and Muslims. They are the three most powerful religions, and out of all of them, unfortunately or fortunately, Catholicism is one of the most powerful ones because they own a lot of the magic. What do you want?
That
That what?
water.
So love to have your comments on that one. That's my son, Edward. So love to have your comments on that one. But that's also the changes and transformations. So if you're stepping into the holistic realm, whether that is, I got like Gaia Luna healing here, I got music and life. I mean, those are alternative healing modalities, in forms of healing. They're alternative, but they're so ancient. And in the ancient powers, there is power. There's power there. And that's where the transformation comes in. One of that Egyptian site, Kamart, the oldest religious site in the world. They even have an astrology building that they built to watch the stars, and to gauge when when the full moon is, and the solstices and the eclipses, and the quarter and the halves of the year. So those are the solstice and the quarter, and then the subquarters, and breaking it all down. And the sound healings that they had too. So these are the part of the energies that are coming in that are new, but they've been lost. And we're here to educate, and we're here to bring in and form the new relationships for people to help to guide them and have those conversations. And the more we have the conversations, the more the changes start to happen. So it's pretty exciting. I think this moon is so exciting. It's so transformational, and it's bringing in a lot of newness for us all, and bringing in that new vibration. And as I say, be kind, because there's a lot of people who can't do this new vibration. It's hard. Their frequency isn't there yet, but the vibration isn't going to get less. God doesn't move. God and the goddess. The goddess she's staying at her vibration. She's not going to lower her vibration for us. It's up to us. We have to reach to her vibration. And that's what we're doing. We're reaching up to the new vibration. And we're not lowering ourselves to the other vibrations. And that's where this full moon is all about, is reaching the new vibrations. It's Aquarius. And 2 full moons in Aquarius, they must be telling us something, and the Lionsgate being on the new moon, they're telling us something, are they not? They're saying, go to your heart, follow your heart, follow the newness that's coming in, and the new waves that are coming forth for you, that are positive, that are loving, that are nurturing, that are allowing you to expand and educate. Aquarius is about education, higher education. Uranus is the higher education. And bring in that higher education. What is that higher education that you're doing for yourself, for your community, for your family, and for yourself? So there you go. So I'm going to send you guys off with so much love today. If you want to order a mini reading, today's the last day to order one. So I'm going to, I have a few to do. And if you want to get yours today, definitely order right away. They're $25 e-transfer to thegurumama.com or PayPal, either or. So sending you guys out so much love, and may the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you. in all that you say, in all that you be, in all that you do. Blessed be, everybody. And thank you so much for being a part of my community, for being here today, and spreading your love and your light. Always, 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 always. Blessed be, everybody. Bye-bye.